All right, I am doing my first live live trading video of 2017. I am shorting NTFU, Nutrafuels. This is the stocks to trade software, and pretty much I'm just watching the chart. It just broke a key support level that it's held all day around 150, and that was my time to want to short. On the one-day chart, that's cool. It also had a big morning panic, which is usually the beginning of the end. Ideally, I would have shorted it here in the 170s, but I'm not really set up right now properly with my high net worth broker, which found me shares to short. Interactive Brokers and E-Trade could not find any shares to short, so I have $200,000 with my high net worth broker. Actually, out of the 200,000, they have multiple clearing firms, so only 100,000 of it can I trade with, and I haven't even been set up with the trading software that they offer yet. So I am doing this really ghetto style over instant message with my boy Royce. I don't know if you know, I've worked with him for years. I haven't traded with my high net worth broker in, I guess it's been like a year and a half or something. So just so inefficiently done. But I'm short 6,500 shares at 147. This is a classic pattern. First down day on a pump. And, you can see here it's had 3 big green days all the way up to the 2s. I don't have the best entry here. This is not like a guaranteed profit. This isn't like, how could nobody else be doing this? That's why I have a very small position right now. Frankly, I'm just not set up well. I have too much going on, too much paperwork. We're still in the first basic week of stock trading, the first 5 days of the trading year. But at the same time, this is a gimme pattern. And I think that this panics down tomorrow, down to the 130s, 120s, maybe even under 1 if we can get some big stop losses going off tomorrow. I also want to short MJPI. So let me just show you how I am him. Do you guys have any MJPI to short? And I asked him this over email because I didn't even have my instant message set up. This is how out of it I am. But MJPI is also having its first down day. Ooh, look at this. NTFU is coming back up. Good. I'm glad I played it so cautiously. I have a very small position. I don't need to short big. We still have an hour left in the trading day, but here are the time and sales and the plays right now. And again, this is a classic first down day. With the morning panic, it dropped from 2 down all the way to 130. So if it closes anywhere in here in the 140s, 130s, 160s, I actually don't want it to take out this low, because then I might be tempted to take profits, and I really want to try and hold this overnight because I think that this is going to panic nicely tomorrow even more. So I just have a small position right now. What do I have? A few thousand shares? 6,500 shares at 1.47. So I'm down like 5 cents a share right now, which is fine because I have such a small position and I just wanted to do a live trade. This is this new feature on Stocks to Trade where you can see stocks that are under SSR or halted. Pretty cool. Then Superman is trading. We got some alerts coming in there. But this is a classic first down day. Hold on. Let me pull up a chart of this exact pattern. One sec. This is a blog post from a few years ago, 4 live penny stock trades on video. And it was my tribute to a legend who had just died. This pattern has been working so well, and I show some videos, but this is basically it. It goes up every day, goes up every day. You get a little crash and then a bigger crash. I made 12 grand on the penthouse of the Roosevelt Hotel. I made 4 grand when I was in Rome. It's the same freaking pattern. Hold on, let me find a better blog post. One sec. All right, here is a better blog post. A seemingly unchanging $1 million pattern. You can look in the URL up here. Look at this. This is from freaking 2010, okay? And it's the same exact pattern where you have it going up, these kinds of pump-looking charts every single day, and then you get a big crash. Same pattern as always. And this is in one day, HHWW. I was shorting this with, what was it, Thinkorswim, and now they're part of TD Ameritrade. Now their borrows suck. But this dropped from 2.8 down to 130. I had, I want to say like 20 or 30,000 shares, and I covered way too soon. NXTH, I nailed it. I was actually trading this one short from a Whole Foods. And then there's just some more examples. And it's always that first red day, that first crash, that's usually the telltale sign. And, you know, here we are on NTFU again, and it's just hanging around 150. So I'm down a few cents a share. I was trying to refresh because I don't think this 152 bidder is real. The data is not always perfect on pink sheet stocks. Be aware of that. But it doesn't really matter what it's doing right now. You know, I'm not looking to cover in the last hour of the trading day. If it closes anywhere around here, anywhere in between 140 and 160, I'll be looking for a retest here of the 125s tomorrow. And hopefully, you know, we can get another panic. If it takes out 125, it can go to 1. I guarantee there's going to be a ton of stop losses at 1. So there's a decent chance that I'll be able to cover this, you know, under $1 a share tomorrow and make, I don't know, what would I make? I'm not even good at math. Let's say if we get panic under 1, I mean, this dropped from 2 down to 127 today. Let's do some math. Hold up. 2 minus 1.27 divided by 2. So the morning panic today really was 36%. So let's say it closes right now at 143. What would a 36% drop be? Down to like 90 cents. I think that's a good level to try to cover tomorrow. I'd be happy to make 50 cents a share. Let's see if there's any support in the past few days. I mean, there's actually a lot of support here in the 120s. This might be tough to crack. It's not that much of a surprise that it bounced here, but it's the first red day. You know, whether it goes down to $1 or 90 cents or even double bottoms here, you know, I'm perfectly happy with that. And yeah, I mean, this is just, I'm aiming for a morning panic. So actually right now it's 143, 144-ish. So that's a good sign. But again, it's, you know, this is a very small, so we have trades going off at 143, 142. It's a very small position right now. Oh, 141. Oh, it looks like we're actually 140. Whoa. Look at this. We're getting taken out. Yeah, this 152 is not real. So now it's kind of wish I had a bigger position. Damn these live trading videos distracting me. Oh, well. What can you do? Now you can see that I'm not perfect. But I still have 6,500 shares here at 147. So how much am I risking? I could chase it, but I want to show you kind of that you can do this with a smallish account. This is my high net worth broker. Their minimum is 30,000. I don't make the rules. I wish they had a smaller minimum, but I have a $9,600 position. So just use this as a guide to what you can do once you get to 30,000 or 50,000. If you want an intro to this high net worth broker, by the way, just email me, admin@timothysykes.com. They do have trading software. I'm just literally not set up yet. So that's why I'm IMing in my orders. And it costs me like a penny a share. So I'm just wasting money left and right, not being set up and not being efficient and focusing on teaching instead of just trading. It's kind of crazy. So anyways, that's my spiel for today. We'll see how it closes. I'm definitely going to hold this overnight. Just a question of whether I add to my position or not. And then I'll film this tomorrow morning too. So you'll see that. Thank you. So I'm actually thinking about covering actually 138. 138. So I'm short. I added to my position. So I had 10K short, and now I am roughly 7K short again. So I guess really no change. I covered some. Look at how thin this thing is. It goes up. So I'm a little worried now because it came down to 130 and there were big bidders at 130. And as we know, support this morning was 125, and then we have all this support here at 125. It also cost me 2 cents a share to hold it overnight. So I'm kind of just trying to hedge my position a little bit. I'm still 7K short. I've locked in, I don't know, like $400. I covered like 3,000 shares around 131, and I'm short at 145 after fees. Yeah, around like $300-400. But this is a hedging game. Oh my God, I have tweets coming in. Come on, guys, just let me freaking focus here. How do I move this thing down so you don't see everyone's messages to me? There we go. It's an imperfect science. While I think this is going to crack tomorrow, I do have to be careful with, my position size. Did I get 100 shares? And the fact that I'm not, really set up to do my own trading. And the fact that, this thing is way off its highs. So I'm not used to this in many different reasons. And also, if you watch my video lesson earlier today, or I guess by the time I post this, it'll be yesterday. Whoa, now there's a big bidder at 135. Go to 140, uncover. If you watch my video yesterday, 25,000 share seller here at 140. You know that I'm not perfect right now, and I want to play it very safe. I'm not Aaron Rodgers hot right now. Oh, I think that was probably me at 139, covering like a little bitch. So I'm not going to go aggressive. And the buyers just got taken out, so I'm playing it way too safe. Did I get it? All right. So I'm out. I made like 8 cents a share after the borrows, 6 cents a share. So I made like 600 after the commissions. I made like $500. And now it looks like it's coming right down to the bottom again. So I just played that way too safely. But I don't mind that. I don't mind playing it too safely. I want you guys to get in the habit of playing overly safe. If you're not having, a good winning streak, if you're not properly set up, if you're on bad Wi-Fi, if you're, shorting a stock with a new account where you don't have control and you have to IM in orders. I mean, I am not set up perfectly right now. And so that's going to affect my decisions. And that just did. And I probably just psyched myself out of this. And, when some of you guys see this video, you're going to be like, oh, God, what a bitch. Oh, now we have some buyers here at 137. But I will always play safe, okay? This is one thing that I've learned in nearly 2 decades of trading. Safety first. And while I think this is going to be a perfect drop tomorrow, I'd rather be short MJPI, by the way. MJPI is freaking perfect, but there's no shares to short. Look at this. This is a perfect first down day. Took out the support and the 6s. Look at how much this thing is up. This thing could just keep going. But I have no borrow, no cry on this. Look at how beautiful this is. From the 3s up to the 8s, now back down to the 5s. Can't find shares to short. So that's a play that I'd rather do. NTFU, I don't like it. There's something about it where I'm just not sure because of, my setup. I mean, the stock itself, first down day, you got to short it. But given my setup and given my lack of Aaron Rodgers hotness right now, and if you watch the NFL, If you don't know what I'm talking about with Aaron Rodgers, then shame on you because he's an inspirational figure right now. But long story short, I did my first trade and I made, nearly 10 cents a share, and after commissions and fees, roughly $500 or $600. So it's okay to exit too soon. It's okay to play safe. It's okay to trade like a coward. It's okay to say, hey, if you go in with a plan to hold overnight and you're not holding overnight, that's okay. That's trading. You're not a politician. You don't have to like stick by certain rules all the time. I wanted to hold it overnight, but I also saw it got down to 130 and there was a wall of buyers there. I also know from talking with Tim Gertani, he's short from 199. And I'm proud of him. He's short like 20,000 shares at 199. So he's up, 60 cents a share on 20,000 shares. I mean, that's a nice 20,000 shares up 60 cents a share. I mean, that's a nice $8,000 gain. He might be covering soon. I don't know. I'm not going to ask him. I don't really care, but I want to bring it up because you also know that other short sellers are short from the twos and the low twos. And short selling right now is a very scary game. So if we look at all of this, we got to play it safe. Let me pull up an SSS because I want to show you why I shorted it and why I'm covering now. And I think that'll be a good lesson for you to see, how to implement this. I know the SSS takes time and with fast moving stocks, it's tough. Now that I'm out of the stock, I can actually analyze it, and let me pull it up one sec. So for those of you who don't know, the SSS is from my trader checklist guide. Please use it. And you can analyze the stock. We have two tickers here because you can analyze the same stock at different prices. And I think that's very useful right now. So let's analyze, what is the ticker? NTFU. When I shorted it at roughly 150 at first, I averaged down, but when I was initially shorting it, it was 150. Now let's analyze it here at 139. Not much of a change, but as you'll see, I think, and I haven't done this ahead of time, so I don't know how this is going to play out, but I think that you're going to be able to see the difference. So the pattern of the price, when I was shorting it at 150, it was fading in the afternoon, and I thought that it could, retest or break down here and maybe come down to the 120s tomorrow. Notice also the bid and the ask. I mean, you have some bidders here at 138 and one seller here at 139. After 139, well, a guy just came in at 141. But after that, I mean, it goes all the way up to 148. So you don't have as many buyers and sellers separating everything. And this very well could be a double bottom now. That's the main concern that I have. At 150, I wasn't concerned about a double bottom because it was fading, and I thought that it would just continue to fade. Now we have new information that there was a wall of buyers at 130 protecting the day low, so it's not going to break the day low with 15 minutes left in the trading day. I can guarantee you, not guarantee you, but I can predict it pretty confidently that it's not going to break the day low. At 150 and it's fading, I mean, it could have still broken the day low. So now we have more information, and that changes things. So when I'm shorting a first red day, stock fading, probable first red day, probable morning panic the next day, that's awesome. Fantastic. This is a perfect pattern. Now at 139, it's still probably a good pattern, but as I said, we see and we've seen that now look at this. Now there's buyers here at 138 and 137. We've seen a wall of buyers show up in the 130s, protecting the 120s where there's also a lot of support. So it's probably still going to be down tomorrow. It's probably still going to crash, but I don't know as confidently as I did before. Oh God, look at MJPI. You're just torturing me. Look at how great this thing is fading. Just absolutely beautiful. That's a beautiful fade. No support at the morning low. Crack. That's how it should be. There's a difference between that and NTFU. Let's get back to this. So now the pattern, I mean, it's still a good pattern, but it's not a 20 anymore. I'm going to take it down to a 14 because this very well could be a bottom, in the 120s and 130-ish. Risk reward. So me shorting it at 150, obviously it could have still been a bottom at 127 or 130, but that still would give me profits of roughly 20 cents a share, which is what I took on 3,000 shares. So even if it double bottomed, it's still probably going to, get there. It's probably not going to bottom just at 140 at a random number. If it is going to bottom, it's going to double bottom. And that number was roughly 125, 130-ish. So at worst, if I was wrong about, it really crashing, then I'm still going to make 20 cents a share. Obviously, if worse, that, it doesn't come down and I could lose more money. And if it goes up to 160 or 170, then, I'm out for a 10 or 20 cent a share loss. But as I analyzed in the previous video, I also thought that this could go down to 90 cents a share tomorrow. So if it does have the panic, and it still could, we'll see, 60 cents of downside and let's call it 20 cents of upside, 3-to-1 risk reward, most likely it's going to go down. I'm still watching it. I still might even short it, into the close a little. Let me do these numbers. I wish I could just pause time and figure out this stuff. Risk reward, 3-to-1. That's pretty good, but it's not great. I'll give it a 14 out of 20. Ease of entry and exit, not very easy. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Past performance history of spiking. I haven't even gone over short selling yet in my trader checklist guide. This is one of the chapters I have to work on. But past performance, its history of spiking is actually a bad thing. The fact that it can spike so fast, if you're shorting, you don't want that. Obviously, there's more downside because I am shorting a supernova, but it's scary. So for shorting, this is not a good thing that it can spike so quickly, although it's coming right back down. And I can get back in again too. This is the beauty of trading if I really wanted to. God, let me get these numbers out. So past performance history of spiking, it's a bad thing because it can spike so fast. I'm shorting this, and my personal schedule is clear. I'm aiming for a morning panic on a first red day. That's pretty good. It doesn't get better than that, 20. Actually, I'm going to lower it to 18 just because right now shorting is tough. Reason catalyst, first down day, overextended stock. Pretty good, not great. Market environment, very, very scary. Very, very scary right now for shorting. Even though this is a perfect pattern, I'm still scared. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10. So this is a 72. So it qualifies as a potential trade, but it's not like ideal. Now, the risk reward at 139, and by the way, it's still at 139. You have some dip buyers here. I mean, it's not cracking the lows like MJPI did. Oh my God, look at MJPI. Look at this thing. I can't believe that there's no shares to short of this. Oh my God, you're killing me. In freaking 10 minutes, it's dropped from 6 down to the 3s. Oh my God, this is beautiful. MJPI down to the 3s, so beautiful. No borrow, no cry. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So ridiculous. No borrow, no cry. No borrow, no cry. This is actually a potential dip buy, but I'm singing and I'm making this video. I'm not in the mood for dip buys. NTFU, there looks like there's a big shorter here at 139, but I still don't like it, and you'll see why in a second. I have a feeling that I'll be able to show it numerically. We have 10 minutes before the market closes. Risk reward here. So now what if it does bottom at 125, 130? Your only potential reward is that, you might be able to make 10 cents a share max. And if it bottoms and it squeezes because it's not easy to get out, I mean, you could be getting out at 170, 180. So you might lose 30 or 40 cents and you might only make 10 cents. That's a negative 3-to-1 risk reward. That's bad. That's bad. We're going to drop this down to it's still a first red day, so it could still crack. I'll drop this down to a 5. Let me see if I can even borrow it for tomorrow. I think we'll be able to borrow NTFU tomorrow. This is another thing that you'll see me go over in my follow-up on Trader Checklist. Wow, somebody is really selling a lot at 139. People are buying it, but he isn't budging. So that's even more dangerous because it's good that you have a big seller, but what if that big seller, is done? What if somebody keeps buying and he's like, okay, no more? Then you have a definitive double bottom. I don't like that. Okay, thanks. So when I do the next chapter on Trader Checklist about short selling, you'll see that you also have to think about what is the possibility of you being able to get back in. With buying, obviously, you can sell, you can get out. With shorting, sometimes you get out and you aren't able to get back in. So you have to think about that before you exit. Because I might be playing it safe, but tomorrow there might be no shares to short, but Royce just told me there's probably going to be shares to short, so I can probably get back in. That said, even if I can get back in, it drops so quickly, there's no guarantee that I'll get executed. Let's short a little. I can do it halfway, right? I don't have to short all 10,000 again. Let's reshort 5K, limit 130. Now we're going to learn and we're going to see how it reacts to my short. So now I'm pretty confident that there's some sellers here at 139 and 138. That makes me more confident. Never mind. Right as I say this, it gets taken. Look at this. Look at how quick like the data can change. As I said that, it looked like it was coming down, and then somebody bought a lot at 138. Ugh, I'm short at 133. Let's short 2,100 more, 138. So now I'm back in. And this is, good and bad. This is what trading is all about. You don't have to take a huge position. You don't have to take a no position. You can take a small position, and that's what I'm trying to do. I think I just got 1,500 shares here at 138, if I had to guess. Royce will tell me. You see how inefficient this is, that I have to actually rely on somebody else to put in my orders? Insane. Insane. Not a good setup at all. Yep, I got those. So I'm short 2K. Let me just focus here for 7 minutes before the market close, then we'll get back to the SSS. $2K total short now. Royce probably hates me. I'm like trading with such small size. Okay, now we see a big seller here at 138. Short 3,100 more, 135 limit. So now there's a big seller at 138. That protects me. That makes me want to short more into the bid. Trading is messy. That's what you have to understand with a big account, especially when you can go in and out of positions. You're trying to get in, and then you see a sign that goes the opposite way. This is trading with a bigger account. Most of you guys have small accounts. You don't have to worry about it. But this is how I trade. It's not simple. And if you saw how many executions I get and how many back and forth decisions I go, I covered all before just to play it safe, but now that it looks like it's fading into the close, now we have more data. More and more data. I'm always reacting to data. MJPI, by the way, is bouncing now. $1 a share. Morris says same pattern every time. Yep. Yes. Oh, and Tim Grattani is giving a live webinar tomorrow. That should be interesting with these plays. So he'll actually be in probably this play overnight. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Let's see. I'm up to 5,000 short. So I've gotten pretty much most of it back. 5,300. So I cancel my shorts. I'm short 5K right now. So this is like a half position. I got up to 10,000 short and I got down to 0 short. I've already taken profits of roughly 500. Now I'm re-short at pretty much the current price of 136. And when the market closes in 4 minutes, we'll go over the pluses and minuses of this. And I won't post this video until it's all over, so you can see start to finish. So however this ends, now I've made up my mind to hold this, at least a small position, overnight. And I think that's probably the best scenario, where I don't want to have 0 position, because if it has a big panic, I'll be pissed. If it double bottoms, I can't have a huge position, because then it might be tough for me to buy to cover tomorrow. So something in between. I think that's the right call, where I open myself up to potential profits if we do get the panic tomorrow that I'm expecting, and I can cover easily if it drops. And it looks like it's closing nicely. There was a big seller at 139 and a big seller at 138. I'm short 53.03. So let's get to 6,500. How many shares do I need to short? 1197. Short 1197, limit 1.33. Just try to round this out. I think I just got some at 136. But now you see how many executions and canceled orders and partial fills, and this is why, it's better for me with a big account just to do a video lesson so that you can see this. If I was sending out alerts, you would get like 20 text messages right now and you'd be very confused. Thanks. And I did my math wrong. 6,600 shares at 136 roughly. I think that's a good average. I'm happy with that. It looks good for a fade. And the cool thing is also if it does take out that 130, 125 level, all these dip buyers will get out, and then we can have a really big morning panic too. So I'm hedged kind of both ways, and I don't know what it's going to do. I'm not psychic. I'm open for it to go either way, and I won't be disappointed either way. Whatever happens, happens. And it'll be a good educational experience. But so far, I've locked in some profits, played it extremely safe, and now I am reshorting it. And, I think that this can fade some more. We got about a minute left. So let me just explain the situation now. And let me actually redo this. I'll change it to 136, which is my entry. Because we got more data, so it's always changing. But that's what Trader Checklist is for. It's for, to figure out, to try to figure out what is a good trade, what is a bad trade, what is a good setup, what is a bad setup. Ooh, nice little close. Look at that, taking out 132. Beautiful, all the way down to 131. You see, but now you can see the wall of buyers here at 131 and 130. This is what scared me out in the middle, in 30, 20 minutes ago. But I like the fact that we're closing right at the lows, because if these buyers, get taken out, which they look like they're doing, they're getting chipped away. Very nice. Look at that. Getting taken. Perfect. This is a perfect close. Now I'm glad that I am short because it's closing right at the lows. All the dip buyers are starting to realize, oh shit, this might go down even more. And I'm short, not a full position again because it hasn't taken out the lows. But I'm short a comfortable amount, and now it's 4 p.m. We closed at 1:30, so I've locked in. Thanks. See you bright and early tomorrow. Royce is on West Coast too. So I've locked in some profits. I played it safe, and I have, he says, all right, welcome, see you, welcome back. It's been a while since me and Royce traded. But I played it safe, and I'm proud of this. Let me just do the math here. Let's see how much I made, because I don't know the exact numbers. I didn't have time to do the exact numbers, but it's good. We're in a business of stats. You can have your exact numbers. I asked somebody the other day, and I was like, he wanted to be a guru on profit. I was like, well, how much have you made? He's like, well, I don't keep exactly track of that. And I was like, how much have you made? He's like, a few 100,000. I'm like, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, a million? What is it? And he's like, I'm not sure. And I was just like, wrong answer. Goodbye. We have exact stats. We're in a numerical business. Can you imagine going to a baseball game, looking up at the scoreboard for the batter's batting average and seeing, no, it's not an exact batting average. He's batting somewhere around 100, 200, 300, 400, somewhere in between there, somewhere between, Terrible and Ted Williams. So anyways, I made 8.5 cents a share, but we have to subtract 0.022 for the borrow. So I made 6 cents, and then 0.00 for my commissions for freaking IMing in this. So I made $532 that I've locked in so far in profits. And now I am short 6,600 shares, and I'm up roughly 6 cents a share. I'm not worried about this late print at 150. I know many newbies get confused. They see like this late print. They're like, oh my God, the stock just jumped 20 cents a share. It's not a real thing. It's not a real print. It's a late print. Don't worry about it. I guarantee you I'm going to get 10 emails being like, the stock is up so much. Focus on price action more than just the actual price. Worry about the bid and the ask. And the fact that it closed so weakly is a very good sign for me overnight. So let's take a look at why I got in again. At first I was hesitant, and then I got more confident when it couldn't bounce. So at 136, yes, it's still a potential bounce at 125, 130, but it's fading into the close. There were some dip buyers, there were some big block buyers, and they got chipped away. And there was a wall of sellers at 138, 139, if you rewind this and you go back and look. So I think that wall of sellers will probably still be there at 138, 139. This is a first down day on this play. It's up a ton in a few days. I mean, this thing was down here at 24 cents a share. Okay, so this has a lot more downside, even though the support at 125, 130 is a real potential thing. So it's not a perfect play anymore because there is more risk. The fact that it closed at 130, I mean, we're going to know pretty soon, right near the open tomorrow, whether it's going to crack 130, 125 or hold it. I'll give this a 16 out of 20. Risk reward. If it bottoms at 125, 130, I'll probably still be able to take a profit of 5 cents a share or so. Or if it moves quick, break even. But if it doesn't bottom there, then I think this could go under $1 a share tomorrow. And if that happens, then, I can make, again, what did we say? If it tanks like 35%, it could go down to like 80, 90 cents a share. So we'll call it 50 cents of downside. So probably if you ask, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow? It would be my guess right now for this thing to break 125 and go down to like 115 or 110. That's my best guess. There's an outside shot that it breaks 110 and breaks below 1 and goes down to 80 cents. There's also an outside shot that it doesn't break 125. But if you had to ask for my best guess, I would say I will be covering this at 115 tomorrow, and I'll make 20 cents a share on 6,000 shares, and after commissions, it'll be roughly $1,000. That would be my best guess. I could be wrong, obviously. It might bottom, it might squeeze, I might lose 10 cents a share. Probably worst case scenario is I lose 10 to 15 cents a share, and best case scenario is I make 50 cents a share. So 3-to-1 risk reward. The fact that it closed so weakly, right near its lows, makes me believe that this is pretty good. So I'll give this, a 15 out of 20. Ease of entry and exit, same number as before. It's the same stock. Past performance history is spiking. Again, this has a habit of spiking, but the one thing that is better is that it closed right at its lows. Before, we didn't know how it would close. And so we didn't know if this was definitely going to be a first down day. The fact that we now know that this is a first down day, that bumps it up a little bit from a 3 to a 5. At what time of it? Personal schedule, again, I'm looking for a morning panic. I gave this an 18 before because I wasn't sure, how it would close. But now that the market is closed and as it was fading into the close, we know. So this is a perfect 20. Reason catalyst, same thing, first down day. Market environment, same thing. So it's actually gotten a little better. Not much, but a little better. And I'm sure if I tweak this, this might be a 74 or 75. But it's a slightly better setup, even though it's a lower price, because of how weak it closed. And you want weakness in closing prices when you're shorting, because that opens the door to a morning panic tomorrow. So we'll see tomorrow. I'll start a new video tomorrow and we'll post it all live. Hopefully this stuff helps you instead of just alerts, because you can see that it can go back and forth and you minimize and maximize positions, and sometimes you exit positions and you take partial profits, but that's trading. See you guys tomorrow morning, bright and early. All right, it is the next morning. What's up, everybody? Tim Sykes here, and it is the morning of January 10th. I am short 6,600 shares of NTFU. I've already just told my boy Royce at my high net worth broker that I'll probably want to cover it near the market open, whether it holds support or whether it panics. Hopefully it panics. I mean, pre-market is down a little bit. You can see the bid is 124 and the ask here is 125. So that's below the key support level, which is a great sign. It just traded a little at 125. I think, you know, when you see ARCA on the ask here, it means somebody is shorting. Let's actually just cover a little bit. Let's see how big they are. Let's try to cover 1600, 125 using ARCA. I just like testing. I don't need to cover. You know, I might say, hey, like this, I don't need to do this. But I'm kind of curious to see how big this short seller here is. And he wasn't that big. I just got him taken. Okay, cool. Let's just stay there for a bit. And this is what you can do when you have a bigger account. And again, this is my high net worth broker. If you want an intro, email admin@timothysykes.com. I'm not going to talk about them publicly because I've done that in the past with some brokers and I've ruined those brokers because frankly, a lot of you guys are high maintenance. So I don't want to do that to them. At the same time right now, I'm also listening to this webinar that my top student is giving to challenge students. In case you ever wonder what my challenge is all about, it's pretty much just this. Well, not pretty much this. This is one of the things where they get live webinars from my students and myself. Live trading webinars and Q&A webinars. This is Tim Grattani. He's taken 1,500 now and turned it into 3.6 million. The market's opening in 5 minutes. I'm only focused on NTFU because, frankly, it's a live trade video. But here is Tim Grattani, and he's trading a few stocks. Listen to him for a sec.
It doesn't display the same resolution, so it's a little bit smaller as a result. All I have over there right now is just my little, it would be a chat window. Oh, and then a couple locate boxes. So nothing too exciting. Let me get this back to my charts and little twos we had.
All right, that was a little taste of it. And he'll go on and again. Oh, I got taken at 125. That's a good sign. So there's some serious sellers here. So I don't care about covering, you know, 1,500 shares, 1,600 shares. I just took a profit of another 150 roughly because I'm short. My average is like 1.35 or 1.36. It's good to test, you know, and when you have a bigger account, you can do that. When you have a smaller account, you can't scale in and out because you're wasting precious trades. And frankly, it doesn't matter if you make 10 cents a share or 5 cents a share. If you have a small account, you have to be more aggressive on your longs and shorts. So therefore, you should be more patient with the trades that you take. I'm very fortunate to have, you know, have basically a big account, but I also earned that big account. I have some students who start with big accounts and they don't really do well because they don't appreciate it from the ground up. So those of you wanting a big account, be grateful that you have a small account and that you can now challenge yourself to grow it. And you get better and you learn lessons and you self-develop versus somebody who's just given 100 or 200,000. You know, it's very rare for anybody to have success when you're already starting with 6 figures because your mindset is just so fucked. And it's kind of sad to watch, you know. But anyways, 124 by 125, I covered some. I could cover all right now for like a $600 profit, but I don't want to. I covered a small amount just to test to see if, you know, frankly, I could even get taken. And within, what, 2 minutes I was. So that's a really good sign. The fact that it's, you know, right at this key level, it could still bottom. in which case, I'm glad that I covered some. So I'm kind of like hedging my bets. Even though all the signs look good and pointing towards a morning panic, you can just never be sure. There might be some buy-ins, or there might be a promotion that goes off right at 9:30 in the morning. So again, I'm a safety first kind of guy, but I've locked in like $532, I think, was my profit yesterday. Now I've locked in like another 150 today. So I'm up, like 700, and I still have 5,000 shares, and ideally I'll cover those, after 124. There's nobody till 105. So I don't know if we're going to get the big drop down to 1, but that would be awesome. I would love to cover the rest at 130 or at 106 and make 30 cents a share. That would be $1,500 and roughly $2,000 overall on the trade. And I freaking never put in more than $10,000 on this trade. So making $2,000 while using $10,000 is pretty good. As you see, my setup is not that great where I have to IM in my orders. I still haven't even set up my own trading with this high net worth broker yet. Because again, this is happening right after I just funded the account. I haven't used them in like a year and a half. So not the best time for a trade to pop up, but you don't get to choose when great trades pop up. You just have to be prepared. And I'm as prepared as I can be. I'm more prepared giving you this video lesson than I'm prepared with my trading. The market's going to open in 1 minute. So again, this is my only focus. Look at that. The 124 guy just disappeared. Now 105 by 125. Pretty awesome. Cover 3K limit 1.10. So I'm just getting ready, my order ready just in case. But this is a very good sign. I would love to see the ask come down to like 120, 115, 110. And I'm going to be curious to see how this will hold up because the market is open. Wow, look at that seller. 13,000 shares. Get out of here, SSRs. Let me see if I can cover. Look at this. So big buyers here at 110, 105. I'm more than happy here. Let's see if I'm getting executed. This is how pathetic this is. I have to wait and see if I get executed. There's a big wall of buyers here at 105, 106. So I don't know if they're necessarily going to get taken. Cover all 115. I'm more than happy to make 20 cents a share. That's fine. Maybe it cracks under, maybe it doesn't, but this is maybe try to hit ARCA at 110 on the ask. So you can choose specific routes, and I have a feeling there's a big guy there. Oh, am I getting it? Flat. Nice. Out at 110. 113.52. Nice. So, because I got I'm like, why did I get 113? Because I covered some at 125. So I wasted like, $200. That's pretty damn good. That is pretty damn good. It cracks support. I'm going to keep watching it though, but I don't like this wall of buyers here at 105, 106. I like this sellers, but there's only a few, and I don't know if they're going to stick with it. So I'm out. So let's see. I just what was I short at? 135. 1.3585 minus. I did waste 200, but again, I don't mind it because I like testing. 352. So I made 22 cents a share, but I also had to pay 2 cents to hold it overnight, and then a penny, a little less than a penny to get executed. So I made 19 cents a share times 6600. 1269 plus 532. $1,800. Pretty damn good. Let me alert my people. Covered my NTFU live video short for a solid profit of $1,800. Will post video lesson Soon. Very nice. DFFN is halted. ETRM is going off. There's so many freaking plays right now. It's crazy. And now look at this. I mean, so now you have some buyers. I mean, this was best case scenario. Or not best case scenario. Best case scenario would have been under $1. But near best case scenario, covering it out at basically 110, I'll take that. I'll take that every single day. And I don't know, you know, it might crack later, but look at this. Now you have buyers here at 105, 106, 108, 109. I would be covering everything if I had any left right now. And now you see it's going to probably take out this big seller here pretty soon. What's going on with DFFN? ETRM keeps going, 24 now. MAC is irrelevant. It failed, so you just have to take it off. DFFN is apparently running. Too many plays. DFFN is up to 9. I mean, this wasn't even the best play. Now look at this wall of buyers here. The 115 has disappeared. I just covered it very well. And it was because even though I wanted it to go under, you know, $1 a share, I saw the wall of buyers here at 105, 106. I had, you know, my solid profit. I knew making nearly $2,000. This is it. You know, and so I used roughly 10 grand to make 1,800 after commissions and fees. But ETRM is the play, DFFN is in play, MJPI is actually coming up. Oh, the reason why it's red here, some people are asking me this, on stocks to trade, you know, as you see the pop-ups, we alert stocks that are under SSR, short sale restriction, or stocks that are halted. You see VOXX is under SSR. Perfect timing. Thank you for doing that. And then if it's a red chart, the stock is halted. So, you know, you can't trade DFFN right now. I don't want you to think that you can. NTFU, again, 11 by 12. I mean, it's not bouncing that much, but you can see clearly that there really are not that many sellers anymore. I mean, there was a wall of buyers at 105, then 106, then 107, 108, now 109, 111, 112. So I would be covering everything right now if I had anything left. Let's see, is Tim Grittani talking about this at all? He's just trading.
DFFN volatility halted. When you say go after pops, what does pops mean? It kind of be something like this on ETRM.
Okay, he's just teaching. I'm not interested in his teaching. But look at this. Now that big buyer at 115 got taken. So, I mean, again, remember, I started this video when the stock was 150-ish, and it dropped down to 110. So, again, I'm not that good at math, but 40 cents divided by 150, I mean, that's a 26% drop, literally overnight. You know, I know many of you guys don't like short selling. I know it's confusing when I have a high net worth broker to actually find shares to short. Actually, I heard in the chat room yesterday that Interactive Brokers did have shares to short of NTFU early yesterday when the stock was at 2-ish. And I know Tim Grittani also was short 20,000 shares at 2-ish. I don't know if he covered, you know, yesterday in the 130s or if he just covered just now. I'll go back and watch his webinar later. All you challenge students, if you ever miss a webinar, you know they're all archived. We now have 4 dozen webinars, or is it 3 dozen? No, I think it's 4 dozen webinars from Tim Grittani. He took a few months off. He just moved to the Caribbean with his new wife. She's awesome. So give him a break. But this is it, guys. You know, whether you go long or whether you go short, I'm actually far more comfortable going short because I've frankly just seen so many pumps and I've seen how they collapse. So I'm just better at it, you know, and frankly, I miss shorting. You know, I've been mostly buying, and a lot of my buys are on these absolute junk companies. I mean, ETRM is a total junk company, but in this market, you got to respect the junk, and it just keeps going. So I don't necessarily get to choose, oh, DFFN is not halted anymore. Look at this, 15 now. It's going to get halted again in a second. Watch it turn red. Look at this, trading at 15, 11 by 15, 12 by 14. I mean, this is junk too. So you have all of this junk right now, and you have to respect it from the long side. But I greatly prefer shorting. My structured trade just now on NTFU was very nice. And that's it. I'm not looking forward to trading this right now. Actually, let's just see if they have even any shares to short. Any shares? So I asked him if he has shares to short. Look at how freaking inefficient this is. If I had my web setups, they don't even have any shares to short. If I had my web set up, I could just do it myself. So as it is, IMing him, I waste seconds just asking for the shares. I waste seconds trying to get executed. It is so much. It's just a ridiculous setup that I have right now for trading. So bear with me. Normally, you will not see me IMing in my orders. I just have to get my web trader set up with them. And I still made $1,800. And it's 9:39 in the morning. But now it's bouncing a little bit, so I'm glad I covered. Superman bought something. I mean, I covered that pretty as good as can be expected. I took advantage of the morning panic. I'm happy with it. And, 26% from top to bottom. Obviously, I covered some yesterday in the 130s, which I didn't have to, but I like showing you safety. I covered some this morning at 125. Again, I didn't have to, but I like showing you testing. And then I covered the bulk of my position at the best spot possible at 110. So this was a good trade. I didn't catch the entire move. Obviously, Tim Grittani shorting it at 199, shorting 20,000 shares. I'm excited to see what he made. And those of you who messaged me and told me that Interactive Brokers did have shares to short yesterday morning, that's awesome. So with shorting, it's a little more complicated because you have to find shares to short. And if you get out, you have to be able to refind shares to short. So not a perfect strategy. Oh, look at this. We got some sellers now at 118. This bounce is weak. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go back down. You have to kind of look at this like a seesaw and the momentum. And the momentum clearly was, okay, this is down, but there was no true panic. They weren't cutting through the bid at 105, 106. The bid was building at 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, now 115, 116. But now the momentum has shifted because now there's some sellers here at 118. Oh, but the momentum keeps going. Favor to the longs. You see how they're just, all the recent trades are at 118. So we're eating away through the 118s. This could go to the 120s. I thought that 118 was going to be the high and then it was going to shift back down. But there's just not that many sellers, and frankly, it's down 50%. I mean, yesterday it was at 240 and now it's at 120. So this stock is down 20%. If you've seen my penny stocking framework DVD, this is a classic number 5 right now. This is a dip buying opportunity. I wouldn't really necessarily dip buy it because I don't know how much it's going to bounce, but I wouldn't necessarily short this. And I'm glad I had the right mindset when I was, covering at 110. Anyways, this has been my live trade. I'm going to get back to the chat room. I'm watching DFFN, but there's no shares to short. I'm watching ETRM, but I'm scared of that. I'm watching NTFU. If this bounces enough, I'll look to reshort it. But I don't need to reshort it right now because it really hasn't bounced that much. And frankly, it didn't get the panic that I really thought that it would. So there weren't necessarily the sellers. But we did get a nice drop. We did get a nice crack of this support at 125. 125 should act as resistance on the way up. So I'll look, if I am going to reshort it, I'll be looking to short around 120, 125. But I doubt I'll reshort it just because it's illiquid and, it's down 50%. I took the meat of the move, made 1,800. I'm happy. Thank you very much. My name is Tim Sykes, and I teach people to trade stocks. I am a self-made multimillionaire. So this is the ideal trade that I'm going to talk about. I want you guys to understand every single aspect of this trade.